Show of hands of how many people are having a difficult time making a decision. Right? Yeah. A decision that questions, what should you do? Where should you go? Should you stay or should you leave? What would you say? Or do you say anything at all? Questions. Questions confront our decision-making skills daily in every sector of our lives. The question is, how are you making and protecting yourself emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually when you're making decisions? In this techno, war, inflated era of life. Within this technological era that we are living through, our central nervous system is the target for constant, rapid movement. So considering that questions bombard our nervous system regularly, the question really is, how are you making decisions in the face of chaos? Some may choose an individualistic perspective toward making decisions, which focuses on self-preservation. A self-preserved person tends to focus on experiences that inspires them and keeps them motivated toward personal goal achievement. So visually, this looks like tunnel vision. Whereas other people might take a more collectivistic perspective toward decision making, where they focus on drawing their energy and their inspiration and their motivation from servicing the community. Servicing the community is a way of servicing themselves. So it kind of focuses on this philosophy, Ubuntu, which is out of the South African community. I am because we are, and since we are, therefore I am. People who operate from a collectivistic worldview, because they serve other people through serving themselves, can easily slip into an avoidance of self-preservation and a practice that lacks self-care. From a clinical perspective, this is not safe if you don't have healthy boundaries, which leads me to a third population of people who choose more of a blended decision-making approach that integrates both individualistic and collectivistic perspectives. When I take care of myself, I am then adequately able to take care of others. The question is, how are you taking care of yourself in order to take care of others in the face of chaos? Allow me to reintroduce you to rest, a concept that has been dormant in today's popular culture. Tracy Stanley, the author of Radiant Rest, makes a really good point in her book when she says that people avoid rest because of emotional guilt. There's so many things that you need to be doing, and so many people who are pulling at you, and so many things that need your attention, that if you just gave yourself a minute to sit down and be still, that guilt begins to overwhelm you in regards to what you can actually be doing in this moment right now. Dr. Deborah McNamara, the author of Rest, Play, and Grow, talks about when we have healthy relationships with secure attachments, we are able to rest. She particularly talks about preschoolers and their ability to play and grow successfully and developmentally when they have secure attachments with their caregivers. But I think this is equivalent for all of us. Secure attachments in relationships are relationships that are absent of criticism and the pressure of having to defend yourself or protect yourself from those that you care about. Amongst the research me and my research assistant conducted on rest, we discovered that the term is associated with other terms like pain management, an aid to a concussion, and everybody's favorite, stress. In 1971, the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology published a study that experimented with 54 college man volunteers between the ages of 18 and 24. Race was not reported, but the study focused on measuring these volunteers' systolic blood pressure levels between intervals of administered electric shock, and then measuring their systolic blood pressure level before, during, and after a rest break to determine if the knowledge of knowing that the volunteers have the optimal control in choosing and deciding when they take a rest break, if their blood pressure level would be impacted. What they discovered is that the moment you make that decision, your body immediately responds to that. So the question really is, if you know that you can lower your blood pressure level when you are facing some stressful situations, why aren't you resting? More recent research that we reviewed analyzed rest during chaos, talked about mental health symptoms during COVID-19, and the application of mindfulness. In one particular study, Bellin defines mindfulness as paying attention to the present, while another article defined mindfulness as paying attention on purpose. But paying attention to the present on purpose to what exactly? The noises that you are hearing that could potentially be distracting you from rest? Or the smells that your nose is now able to definely or clearly define what you're smelling? Or how about the space that your body is possessing? Some people might say mindfulness and rest are one of the same, and I beg to differ. Although mindfulness is paying attention to the present on purpose, rest is paying attention to the present on purpose to your breath, your body, your mind, and your needs. That's 4. So, let's go back to that decision that you're having a difficult time making. I want you to think about that and feel the angst of that decision in your body. How many of you all feel that? Now I want you to mentally think about the clarity that you need in order to rid yourself from the emotional burden that this experience is causing you. And fall into rest with me with 2 mental practices and 2 physical practices right where you are, by making sure that your feet are flat on the floor. Your hands are in an upright position, sitting in your lap. And I want you to softly close your eyes and take an intentional deep breath in and hold it at the top for a 5-second count. And as you hold your breath, I want you to mentally think to yourself, I am here to rest. There is nothing more important than this moment right now. And release through your nose slowly to feel a sense of groundingness. Now I want you to take another deep breath in with me and hold it at the top. And I want you to mentally scan over your body for physical tension and press your breath into that area. Intensify that tension. And then I want you to take another deep breath in with me and hold it at the top. And now begin to place a smile on your face. And as you release your breath with a sigh, release it with that smile on your face. Now, if you feel a sense of warmth going through your body, and you can continue to take deep breaths in and take deep breaths out, inhale, exhale, That warmth that you are feeling is your body showing you love for taking a minute to pause. If you feel a sense of coolness through your body, embrace that coolness as your body releasing that tension. Take one more deep breath in with me and hold it. And release. Now, as you slowly bring your awareness back to this room and open your eyes, I want you to now take a notice of how is your body feeling? What are you thinking about this activity? What do you think about that decision that you have to make now? Upon me administering this practice with a handful of my clients, just to see if I would get the same response, almost zero to little stress at all. Each client would open their eyes and process their rest experience and say the difficult decision that they were having to make had no stress at all. I remember the first client who rested during her session with me. After opening her eyes and processing her experience and identifying how her body feels, I asked her to look back on her paper where she had written down what she wanted to talk about in her session before we met. And I asked her to look at the problem that she thought was the response to the decision. And how comfortable was she to make that decision now? She looked at me and she smiled and said, "Very comfortable." And then my response to her was, see, you don't even need to see me. You just need to be intentional about making time to rest before you make a decision. Thank you.